Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. For those of you that just watched the other video, yes, I'm wearing the same clothes and I got the same hat on and it's the same night. But we're doing the giveaway video this time. As the thumbnail should have told you, I've got 10 machines. They don't all fit on the desk, so I'm going to have to split this up. Not into 2 videos, I'll just have to make a cut. But let's get down to the desk and we'll take a look. Same rules applies all the time. You need to be a subscriber. Click that like button. I know I got 3 people out there going to click the thumbs down. Okay. I can live with that. It's all right. What was the other rule? Oh, continental U.S., again, I'll pay for shipping. If you're one of our international friends, sorry. It cost, the 2 packages that went out internationally cost as much as the other 8 going within the continental U.S., so that's kind of why I defer that shipping cost. And I know you guys have taxes on packages that you receive, and that stinks. I wish I could do more. I'll put all the links and their review videos, I believe, on everything that you'll see here. So if you need to, you can go back and look on the channel at the review videos of these. Some of this stuff is a year old, but I think it's all very, very flyable. I did not go out and individually test here in the last day or two all these machines. What I did was I spun the motors up here at the desk to make sure they work. You know, move it around to make sure the accelerometer and the gyro is doing what it's supposed to do in beta flight, and then I call it good. You'll find receivers in most of this stuff. Some of them may be Spectrum, some of them might be FrSky, at least most of them are probably FrSky. Very few things will be Spectrum, but you'll need to know how to bind. That's something that you'll need to know how to do. But let's go ahead and let's take a look. So we're starting off the first one. This is the Aurora Mini Fight. This has got the Sunny Sky motors on it. Pretty good little flyer. I've actually held on to this as a reference point, but I'm giving it away based upon the fact that there haven't been any questions come in about it, and I don't need to keep stuff just to have stuff around. If I'm not flying it, someone else might be flying it. That's kind of my motto. So this is a 2.5 incher, pretty fun, powerful. I believe this is 3S, but again, go back, find the video on this one and watch that to see what I say during that video, because it's much more accurate because it was fresh in my mind. All right, we got the Emax babyhawk Pro R, or R Pro. So this featured some of those motors that we no longer see anymore, even though they have the 2 on them. No, these are the newer motors. That's right. Sorry. So we've got a capacitor out here on the end rather than tucked away, but you'll find that this flies pretty well. I liked it. They kind of upgraded everything, and they had a slightly different canopy design. The canopy used to be more like a mouth or a Pac-Man, in my opinion, so someone can win that. As I show each individual one, that will be how we doll out who wins what. So if you're selected first, you win the Mini Fight. If you're selected second, you win this quad, the babyhawk R Pro. If you're selected third, then you get the next one that's on the video. That's how they're all selected. I don't have numbers printed out like I did for the packages. Each person gets each selector gets just 1 quad. So we're only doing this part really to go through them. This is actually one I'm quite fond of. This hasn't seen much time in the air. This is pretty special motors on it. RotorGeeks 1107. I believe this has got the 7600 kV motors on it. The one thing I do recall about this is I've got a voltage regulator down here, and I can't remember why. So if you choose to take that off, it might have a negative impact. I'm not sure why that is. Could have been for powering my camera or cleaning up video. I'm just not certain. I can't remember. It was about a year ago. This has got that HGLRC Zeus board. It's a single board stack. The frame is BRDM, the Nemesis. They also had a camera that they had modified. It was a pretty big development. I'm not sure how well it did or not. But I've got a receiver in there, and I'm not taking that receiver out because if you can see in here, it's right there. And so if you stay with this receiver, well, the button I think is on the other side. Yeah, you should be able to get something down in there to bind it up, but if you change out the receiver again, that's completely your option to do. You might secure this down a little bit. It seems to be a little bit looser than I remember, but fun quad. I think you should enjoy it. If you're looking for real low cruising, I don't think this is the one for you because the camera angle, you can't come down too much or you'll hit that bar. This one I just did. This is the Tyro 79. Pretty surprising little flyer. I'm going to leave it set up just as it is. Again, we should be able to reach the button right through that hole in order to bind up. It flies just fine. Get yourself some 4S batteries if you're choosing and go rip and have some fun. But no questions have been coming in about this, so no reason for me to keep it. Next, I'm not sure about this one. If the selector for this one doesn't want it, I understand. But I thought I would throw it out here. I've had this a while. This is kind of harkening back to some of the things we're kind of seeing, only this is 1S. This is the FlexRC mirror frame. These are Sunny Sky motors. See if I can read the little print. Looks like 703 12,000 kb motors. Ladybird props. We've got an all-in-one camera up here. Looks like we should have no smart audio, just OSD. I also put a buzzer on there. It can be a good flyer. You can see you just put a little rubber band in there on 1S. You can have a good time with this, but it is older, and if you don't want to receive this, then no hard feelings. You know, I don't get offended very easy. If you say, no, I don't want that, I get it. I'm not going to shove anything down your throat. I won't be upset. There's no point in that. This thing doesn't fly with me, so if someone wants it, they can fly with them. That's really how I look at this. This might look like a twofer, but it's really not. If you look closely, this one doesn't have a flight controller, but these are two products. They're essentially the same from Full Speed RC. We've got the BB66 Lite and the BB66. I do have the canopy and the frame, so I thought if you wanted to fly this inside, you could swap things around, or you've got some spare components if you have any problems with this one. I do think, if I recall correctly, this is DSMX, so if you're wanting to fly some other protocol, and it does have the receiver inside there, you've got a little bit of teensy tiny work to do. But this was pretty good fun. I thought it flew pretty well. Of course, I flew this in the house without the prop guard on it, and I chipped up the props a little bit, but it flies pretty good. And if you want to fly it in your house, you can fly it with the prop guard on it and all the 3D printed pieces that are all intact. Or you can just have it for spare parts, or maybe you just want to use it here and use whatever's left over here as spare parts. It's up to you. But these two are going together. All right, now we have the Baby Shark. This is a little 2-incher that's also 2S, and I think this might be, I'm not certain if this is FR Sky or not. I've got some sort of aftermarket receiver in here that was really small, so I can't say we would need to get into the canopy to actually see what that is in there. But this is also on the video. I thought this was pretty good fun. This goes back to little 2S flyers. I can't remember who the Tiny Hawk or the Tiny Shark is made by. I keep thinking it's Catalyst Machine Works, but I think that's wrong. I'm sure if you look it up, you can find out and leave it in the comment section down below. But a little 2S quad uses an all-in-one for camera and VTX. Again, not getting any flight time with me. It might as well with you. Okay, this is the HGLRC Hornet 120, and this one's a lot of fun. Just a good flyer. You got the receiver right here on top. I've secured this down. This makes it pretty safe. You can see before I did my review, I chopped it up a little bit so we can bind up, and you've got this protection in here. Shouldn't be any sort of problem. This is an XM. It's not an XM Plus, so you don't have diversity. It's got a generic camera in there because originally my recollection is the review, the camera that it was shipped with did not work, so I replaced that. So the camera is fairly generic, and it's not necessarily part of what you'll find on the website for purchase, but a 3S machine that flies pretty well, and it's taken a beating. You see I probably centered a tree or so right there. Somebody else can have some fun with it. This is the Diatone Rabbit. Let's see, 239NX, and you remember this is the one I smacked into the tree, I think it was, and then the garage door. We did some crash testing with this little guy, and the frame's broken right here. But it's kind of one of those machines that you could transfer onto another frame if you choose to. I do think at one point in time I had the clear frame around. If I still have that, you can have that frame too, but it's also broken. It still flies like this, but you'll just end up bending up more props. Not long flight time by any stretch, and if you add too much battery weight, it does come out in the flight characteristics. So pretty good components though, so I think even if you win this and you don't like the frame that it's on, you could definitely take it off, run it 3S on a different frame, and have a really good time. This is the iFlight IH2. You might remember this being on the channel. It's really a cruiser, but it does take steady footage. It just doesn't take it very long. It's got these tachyon motors on here that are 9,500 kV, so it really burns through the motors. But I do think you have a stack in here you can definitely work with. You can either put different motors on here and lower kV to increase your flight time, or you can take everything out and put it on something else. The nice thing about this is at the very least you get a split mini that you know doesn't have jello in it, because you can go back and watch that footage. Again, this could be a transfer candidate. You can see I've still got the receiver in it. You'll get it just like it's shipped. And you've also got a fair bit of spare components. I've got the original box for several of these, and where I have the original box, you'll get the original box with all the original goodies in it. I don't always have that. Like in the case of builds, there's really no original box. But this one, I think, as far as a giveaway goes, has a pretty high value. I think these tend to run close to 175 or 200 bucks. So a transfer onto another frame of your choosing or motors that you want to run would be just fine. And last but not least is the Beta FPV 85X. This is a standard edition. I have plans for the HD edition that I'm going to work on to bring back to the channel. But this flies fine. You saw it in the video here just recently. I think the fact that it has been out so long before my review video came out that not too many questions happened about this one. So I really don't feel that I'm going to need to hold on to it in order to be able to answer any questions that come to the channel, because there has really been nothing other than, you know, good review, thanks for sharing, those sorts of comments. No questions about this. Maybe no one's buying them because they're 3S anymore. I've had a couple of questions come in about the HD version, but not the standard edition. So it can go find a new home with someone else. Again, you can fly it like this. I think I have one extra frame I'll ship with it, just in case you want to fly it like this, as long as it doesn't bulk up the box. If I can get it in the stock box, I will ship you the extra frame. I'm hoping I can just flip it upside down and kind of sandwich plates this sort of frame together. Maybe I can do that. I'm not certain, but I'm hopeful. I'll send that extra frame as well. I don't think I have any extra props. I might be wrong about that, but I'll look around to see if I have any more props, and I'll put in some extra props. I'll do that with just about everything where I have plenty of spares, because, you know, I do need extra props. I crashed too. So there we go. That's our list. Good luck to everyone. Again, this will run for a week. So from the day this is posted to a week later, and then I'll come back and I'll do the drawing and I'll record it here at home, and then we'll do the posting of that video, and then everybody who's in that video that's been selected has a week to get in contact with me. You need to have your YouTube account tied to an email address that you check, because we've had a few people that haven't gotten back to me over the time. Not this last one. This last one we were 10 for 10. First 10 people all got back to me. Just bang, 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 bang. Worked out great, and then I was the slow part getting everything out to everybody. But I have gotten a number of nice emails, and I've seen some nice Facebook postings of people that have the quads and are enjoying them. So make sure you have yours tied to an email account that you actually check or forwarded for a temporary amount of time. You just need to be able to get in contact with me. That week period is so important, because if I let it run on and on and on, then we never get it to our alternates. So I think because we do have 10 quads, even though we were 10 for 10 last time, I'm still going to pick 12. I want these quads to go find new homes. And so if, in that case where we have 10 quads, if we have 2 people that are selected in that first 10 that don't get back in touch with me, then selector number 11 and 12 would then win. So make sure you're a subscriber, make sure you like the video, and make sure you leave one comment and one comment only down below. Good luck to everyone. I appreciate your time, and thanks for watching.